Ever typed in a message to a girl and then spent an hour pondering if you should send it? Does it sound too needy? Is it too simple or too complicated? And then you spend another hour rewording the text or coming up with new ones. And a simple task, such as typing a message, ends up taking an incredible amount of time. To make it worse, even when you press send, you're not completely sure if that was the smart thing to do. Well, all that ends now. Not only will I teach you what to do and what not to do by giving you 7 texting hacks that will make her want you all the time. To top it all off, I'll give you some of the best texting lines ever. Let's get into the texting hacks. Number 7, remember the basics. First of all, introduce yourself properly and keep it clean. That means you should pay attention to spelling and grammar mistakes. You don't want to come off as a high school dropout, even if you are one. It's just not a good first impression to make. And keep in mind that it's not about you. Don't ramble on about how nice and witty you are. Keep the focus on her. This brings me to the next step. Number 6, give her a real compliment. Well, that sounds simple and straightforward enough, right? Wrong. Giving a compliment to a woman should never be just, "Hey, you look hot." You've got to make it more personal and really mean it. Instead of such a cheap line, you can say something like, "That dress you were wearing yesterday really complimented your eyes. I couldn't stop looking at you." So basically, you told her she looked hot. But in her mind, she knows you noticed what she was wearing, the color of her eyes, and she knows that you really liked what you saw. Here's a trick. When you spot a hot girl, try to find something that is really unique about her. It can be the color of her eyes, the dimples in her cheeks when she smiles, the way her dress accentuates her hips, or whatever rocks your boat. But remember, the more personal and unique it is, the better the reaction will be. Number 5, use her name. If you start your text with nicknames like babe, honey, or something similar, it's bound to turn her off, even if she's starting to like you. Keep those for a relationship, or at least when you're getting close to relationship phase. For the time being, using her name will show her respect, and the fact that you even remembered her name is a good start. Number 4, learn more about her. As Al Pacino says in The Devil's Advocate, vanity is definitely my favorite sin. We are all vain to some extent. It appeals to us when someone is interested in who we are, what we like or dislike. So use it to your advantage. The more you try to learn about her, the more she will be flattered, and it is more likely that she'll enjoy the conversation and want more of it. Just keep some boundaries. You don't want to overdo it and come off as creepy, knowing every secret detail of her life. Number 3, make it interesting. No amount of good looks is going to save you if you are as boring as watching paint dry, so spice it up. The easiest way to do this is to include her in your activities by sending her pictures. If you are having a meal, take a snapshot. If you are hiking or enjoying a hobby, let her know. Women love men who have their lives in order and are capable of committing to something. So use that to your advantage. Number 2, use humor to tease her, not yourself. Humor is an incredibly potent tool when it comes to dating, but you shouldn't use it on yourself. Deprecating yourself is fun, but it can get out of hand and make you look weak. You should instead use it on her. Tease her a little bit, but in a gentle way like you would with your sister. It shouldn't come from a place of resentment, but from a fun place. Teasing is an incredibly potent strategy when done right. It shows a girl that you're not intimidated by her, that you are fun and charismatic, and more than anything, that you're self-assured. Number 1, it's all about timing. Timing is something most men struggle with when it comes to texting. If you text back too fast, you'll seem desperate and clingy. If you take too long to respond, she might lose interest or find another guy. So what is the correct timing? This depends on the situation and the person you're talking to, but here are some pointers you can keep in mind. Respond to the first text immediately, then wait 15 to 30 minutes to respond to the second one. But if you are already engaged in a fun conversation, keep it up. Just feel when it's starting to go down and make a good excuse to end it. It's better to end it sooner than to wait for it to become boring for both of you. Similarly, it is a good idea to make the conversations diverse, meaning that sometimes you will respond immediately, other times it will take an hour or more for you to respond. Let's say you're going to the gym or doing something else. Focus on your tasks and text her later. This will show her that you are a busy person with a rich life, but that you are still interested. It's a good way to keep things exciting. And now is the moment you've been waiting for. Here are 5 texting examples that can do no wrong. 5. Hey, it's me. Insert your real name. I can't stop thinking about how good your waist looked in that tiny dress last night. Save this number so you can get properly excited when I call you. This text is a little bit cheeky, but also funny and shows confidence, and you wrapped it all in a great compliment. 4. You're cute, but you look like trouble. It's a good thing I love getting into trouble. Another compliment and a tease, ending in a double entendre. 3. You're falling in love with me, aren't you? There's some more teasing there, but in a good way. 2. Are you just making this up as you go along? It's a good thing to call her up on her bullshit from time to time. It keeps things interesting. 1. I saw something today and thought of you. This is an ingenious message. No girl can resist the temptation, and there's only one response she can come up with. What did you see? And just like that, the game is on. Keep in mind that you can play around with the structure of these texts and customize them to the level of engagement you're experiencing with the girl. Most importantly, show her that you're witty, fun, and easygoing, but don't overdo it either. Do you have a favorite text you use to entice girls? Share them in the comments. I would love to hear them. However, if you're still struggling to get any attention at all from women, I highly recommend watching my video, 7 Proven Ways to Attract Women, Silent Seduction.